Alright, what's going on, everyone? This is Racing Oz Season 2 of 2023. It's round number 4. Man, who keeps changing these race start times? I don't know what's going on with it, but I'm pretty sure we used to start at like almost 9 o'clock. Anyway, I don't know. We're here. It's got all the liveries as well this week. That's good. Hope your Monday's going good as well, wherever you are. Hope you had a good weekend. Lots of motorsport this weekend. Had some unfortunate news at Spa, but hey, Harley Scotland. Sorry, I shouldn't just butt into that. Yeah, very tragic loss of life. Young 18-year-old cut short. Brutal. But Harley Scotland, on a little bit of positive news. Retro Racing, we've got his livery. It's up and running for the first time this season. What a cracker of a livery as well. Who else have we got in? Simeon Coco, Paul Huddy, Neil Fakeney, Max Rickers here, Matt Frost, Wally Masterson as well, Tom McDonald. New livery, Tom McDonald. Was he racing a different car last? Yeah. Hey, Nick, I'm away, so no yellow and pink Aston for you tonight. Oh, what a shame. Chris Hildebrandt. Oh well, hopefully you're back next week. Who's out there cutting laps at the moment that we can pick up very, very shortly? Might go over to Michael Easter. Last round's race winner. So if you watched the stream last week, not last week, the week before, we had a little break. The last round out was at Imola, and this man finished second on circuit. Post-race there was an investigation with him and car number 777, Denis Strelnikov, who actually did cross the line first on track, but unfortunately there was an investigation for Denis, and the result was changed due to a penalty given out to Denis, who was deemed at fault for a collision with Michael Easter on lap number 50-something, 56 I think it was, right at the very end there. I think that was at Alta through there. So, yeah, unfortunate for Denis. But, yeah, Michael Easter has opened up his account. Race victory. Didn't take him long. Only his second race or third race. Who else is out there? Paul Russell. He's had a really strong start to the season. John Stockton got his livery up and running as well. That's always good. Who else is out there? Adrian Rice. He picked up some penalty points last race as well. He is classified correctly this time. He's in silver class, not AM class where he was earlier. Coming around. Who else do we have out there at the moment? I know Michael Easter. We've already seen Michael Easter. We've already seen John Stockton. Mark Hurley is kicking around. We'll go to Harley Scotland though in the Ferrari 141. Alright, so he's coming across the line. So a 1:23.227 is the fastest time of the session so far. Max Ricker, he's done a 1:24.4. Just coming through turn number 6. What a cracker. This circuit in the dry is great. This circuit in the wet is absolutely horrible. So I've only really ever driven it in the wet. So my enjoyment levels of the circuit have been pretty low. It is quite enjoyable in the dry though. So in terms of what we should see tonight as far as weather, ambient 16, rain at 0.15, with a randomness set to 3 as well. As Rico completes his lap. John Stockton sitting in 16th. Car field of 24 tonight. That's a decent field. I like that. After the week's break, we've got 3 more races slated for this middle part of the season, the middle third, if you like. And look who we've got back, everyone. We've got Chris Cooley back. Good to see him back racing this evening. His first race of the season. It was a regular last season, so good to see him back in the Aston. We don't have the team meme tonight. Hopefully he makes his way onto the starting grid. Had a habit of that last season of missing the start. He's invalidated his lap, which is very, very easy to do around here. So we'll flick over to Carlos Dominiak, another Aston Martin. As now back to Chris Cooley. Sorry, my mistake there. Paul Russell. Here we go. Just coming through turn 9. There is only 9 turns on the circuit, 3.9 kilometre circuit. Packs a punch though. 9 turns, just a tick under 4 kilometres. Who else is in there? Tucker Gaming, go Michael. Alright, we got someone in the chat for Michael. Here's Matt Frost. Viper 23 Racing, Audi. I'm very accustomed to watching him in Ferrari. What about Tom McDonald? Been in the thick of the action so far this season, and he's well down on his best time. I'm a bit discombobulated at the moment with the I just got to work out these starting times. Chris Cooley, 8 minutes and 20 odd seconds left in qualifying. They're chasing a very familiar name, Andrew Lawrenson up the top there. Michael Lisa joining him on the first row of the grid. So a couple of Porsches up the top there. Cooley looking to split them at the moment. Probably will with this time. And he does. Goes into P2. Nice work from the Aston Martin driver. Coming back with a bang so far. Paul Russell had a really, really strong start to the season. Paul Russell. A couple of podiums in there. We'll be hoping for a big second third of the season as we go to Brands Hatch tonight. Paul Ricard next week. And then we finish it off with Zolder. And then we're going to kick into the final third of the season, which I'm very much looking forward to. But we'll focus on the right here, right now. Mark Hurley improved his time only marginally, but not good enough to move up a spot. Paul Huddy, he's in 11th right now. Who else is out there on a hot time right now? Adrian Rice is, but he's invalidated his lap. Harley Scotland, why wouldn't you have it on with that nice looking livery? Making his way through the infamous turn 7. Sheens brings many a driver undone, clipping the inside curve there on the apex of turn 8, which is Sterling's. They're not clearways into turn 9. Oh, car just wanting to step out. Still 8 tenths up on his best time right now. And he improves, but not enough. Or did he invalidate at the last moment? Not too sure, but he remains there towards the rear of the field. Paul Russell only marginally up on his best time. Might flick over to John Stockton. Currently sitting 18th in silver class right now. 18th overall. He's in a silver class. As I mentioned, 24 drivers tonight. We've got a Lexus in here, everyone. That is the first Lexus sighting of the season. So that is exciting, and John Stockton got too excited and he invalidated his lap. That's Paul Russell again. Chris Cooley, he's a couple of tenths up on his best time in the Aston Martin. Coming through turn 5, Hawthorne. Got a little bit of traffic in front of him here, which pulls out of the way very nicely. I think that was Hurley. Very gentlemanly like. Drifting the car through Sheens. So he comes through the final turn. He's a 10th and a half up. This should be good enough for pole position right now, with the tick over 5 minutes remaining in qualifying, and he goes P1 in the late stages this qualifying session, setting the grid for round number 4. Not far away from the halfway mark of the championship. And there's this man. He'll be out for vengeance. So another cheerer from Michael. So Michael. Do we have any Michael? Is it Michael Hurley? No, it's not Michael Hurley. Matt Frost. Going through the M's right now. Terry Rayton's up there. Good to see him. Strelnikov going to abandon that lap, I think. He's not going to improve on his time. We've got James Mack in the number 623 Ferrari. I was almost going to say Aston Martin, which is so familiar seeing him in Aston Martin. Michael Easter, of course, sorry. That's quite the following. He had a few people in the chat last time as well, so that's nice. And this is Mack. He is not going to improve on his time. Cooley, Rayton and Lawrenson are all out there. They've invalidated their laps. Michael Easter, he is out there on a valid lap, but not fast enough to improve. So he's almost 3/10 off pole position. We'll talk about ballast very, very shortly as well, because there's cars carrying some ballast out there. And I'm seeing just a lot of red on my timing screen. One of the very few cars with green is this man here. The Laundry House, number 85 Ferrari. That's Terry Rayton. He's also had a good start to the season. He's been caught up in a couple of early race scuffles, if you like, in the opening 3 races of the season. So he'll be hoping to be able to put all of that behind him and have some clear racing. With 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the session, he's currently starting on the front row of the grid, seeing if he can improve up a spot. It's 3800ths. Trailing Chris Cooley in the number 69 Aston Martin, so he's come back and has thrown down the gauntlet for the first time this season. Oh, I hear a car going off ahead there as well. Didn't catch it, heard it. Check out the helicopter cam. Track's at optimum, 19 degrees air temperature, 25 degrees track temperature, perfect conditions, no wind. And Terry Rayton is not going to improve on his time. What about Paul Russell? He is 8/10 off the fastest time, belonging to Chris Cooley, who's out there right now. So is Lawrenson, but he's invalidated his lap. Easter is in the pits. Strelnikov is out there, but he's invalidated his lap. Ricker is 9/10 down. Russell's really the only guy in the top 10 who's on a flying lap at this stage. Neil Fakeney, he is 2/10 down off his best time, so he's not going to improve. Who else is out there? Well, we've got plenty of cars out there, just getting a car on a fast lap. So we'll stick it out with Paul Russell until his time turns red. Then we might have to jump off him. 1:50 left. It's still Chris Cooley leading Terry Rayton, Lawrence and Easter Strelnikov. Then Ricker, Russell, Fakeney, Rice and Waugh. Good to see Adrian Rice doing a good job up there as well in the number 756 McLaren. I do believe my screen doesn't say it. Where is it? Adrian Rice. Yeah, it is a McLaren. All right. Russell, is he going to improve? No, he's not. So 10th and a half. John Stockton just finished setting a lap. Here's Carlos Dominiak. Italian Stallion, number 16. Lamborghini, number 77. Sorry, not 16, that's his position. Everyone's cheering for Michael tonight. Donkey is cheering for him. Sleb. Jamie Easter. Well, there you go. See, I should have twigged off that. Dominiak, he's not going to improve on his time by the looks of things. Lost a little bit of time through the final part of that section. John Stockton. Less than a minute left. It's Cooley on pole position. Rayton and Lawrenson, they're chasing him down. They're all out there. Michael Easter has decided it's the pits for him. So he'll be hoping that Strelnikov doesn't go any faster, at least 3/10 faster. He can get a second row start. In the meantime, we'll keep it on this man here, John Stockton. He'll be one of the first drivers to cross the line to finish the session. 20 seconds left. Will he have one more go at it? I think he will. I'll see if I can duck over to Adrian Rice as soon as this lap's finished, because he'll be the next cab off the rank. There he is. Number 6 as well. Where is number 6? That's Paul Russell. What about Chris Cooley? Nah, he's coming into the pits. Andrew Lawrenson. He is 85 hundredths of a second off pole position. That currently belongs to Chris Cooley. Terry Rayton is in P2. They're all in the pits. So is Easter and Strelnikov. The top 5 is sorted. And that puts a stop to that. So, looks like Chris Curley is going to take pole position. Got a handful of cars left out on the circuit. And Max Ricker looks like he's just been a little bit held up there in the end. So, he won't improve his time. Going to start from P6 though, by the looks of things. Paul Russell can potentially unseat him though, but he's 2/10 down on his best time. So, he's going to have to pull it out. I haven't seen Heather Russell in the chat tonight, so it's been all about Michael Easter. Last round's winner. And that's an invalidated lap right there. And we've got a few other cars pulling over as well, leaving John Stockton out there, but he's 4/10 down on his best time, so well done. Congratulations. Chris Curley, he's come back in style. First race of the season. And he's put it on pole position. Congratulations to him. Terry Rayton second, Lawrenson third, Easter fourth, and Strelnikov fifth. Then Ricker, Russell, Fakeney, Rice, McDonald. Highest of the silver runners is Neil Fakeney. Second is Adrian Rice, and third is Peter Wall. So 9th and 11th outright, those two. And the highest of the AM runners is this man here. And they're very nicely presented. Ferrari, I must say, the 177. That's Mark Hurley, who was the highest of the AM drivers. Simeon Coco and Wally Masterson were the other two. So, while we wait for this to get started, let's have a look at previous results. As I mentioned, Michael Easter was the Pro Class winner for last round after a late race incident with he and Dennis Strelnikov. Strelnikov was ruled to have deemed at fault for a collision with him, so he took out the race win. Congratulations to Michael Easter, his first of the season. Round 3 silver class winner, a bit of a redemption story for Neil Fakeney, who was running top 5 the week before that, and his internet decided to call it quits, so he had a disconnect there. So he was the silver class winner for round number 3. In round number 3, AM class winner was Wally Masterson in the BMW as well. So congratulations to all our class winners from last round. In terms of driver standings, as I mentioned, Dennis Strelnikov is on top of the championship standings. So he's on 181 points. Andrew Lawrenson hunting him down, 6 points behind on 175. A little bit further adrift, but he has raced one race less. That's Michael Easter, getting plenty of love in the chat. 157 in third. Fourth is Paul Russell. He's had a couple of podiums already. 154. Max Ricker up there as well, a newcomer to the league, putting his best foot forward. He's in the top 5 right now on 143 points. Trailing by 7 points is Matt Frost, sitting in 6th in the 666 Audi. Terry Rayton, as I mentioned, has had a couple of little scuffles in the beginning of races, so sitting 7th right now on 134 points. About 19 points behind him is James Mack in the Ferrari. Then Neil Fakeney in 7th position on 107 points, and rounding out the top 10 is Mark Hurley on 99 points. Let's have a look at the manufacturer's standings. That is the championship that we're doing this season. It's not a team's championship. It's a manufacturer's championship. And you can see there, Porsche leads the way on 486 points. 56 points clear of Ferrari at this stage of the season. BMW sitting there in 3rd. Only 4 points separating them and Aston Martin in 4th position. Then only 2 points separating them and Lamborghini. So very tight there from 3rd through to 5th. Audi there, not too far behind either in 6th. And then McLaren, well done McLaren. They got their first points of the season with Lexus and Mercedes yet to get off the mark. But if Dylan Powell can finish the race and get some points, he'll give Lexus their first points of the season. Let's have a quick look at that'll do, I think, because we are about 30 seconds. Start. All right, here we go. So I'll just
20 seconds.
Hang on. Right, there we go. All right, I'm good to go. Yes. All right. So that's all the stuff that we would have done in the pre-race out of the way. What else have we got here? Train time. Ah, James Pierre Reed's on the train. Station's Wi-Fi. Good stuff. Donkey. Michael is so handsome and dreamy. Wow. That's nice. Donkey and a man together. If that's your thing, you know. Power to you. No judgment here. Chris Curley leading the field away right now in the number 69. Aston Martin. He's got a couple of Laundry House boys tucked in behind him in Terry Rayton. Weaving left and right, trying to get some temperature into those tyres and brakes. Andrew Lawrenson sitting there in third. So we've got some ballast to talk about. Lawrenson has 10 kilos of ballast. Strelnikov has 11 kilos of ballast. Easter has 5. Hurley has 9 kilos. Russell has 4 kilos. Max, Marsh and Phaeton. Hey, where's Marsh? Where's he gone? He took out a class win at Indy and then he was just like, see you later, I'm out of here. So hopefully he can be back soon. But he's got 3 kilos of ballast waiting for him when he gets back. Denis Strelnikov, he's taken out a race victory already. First one of the season in Valencia. A couple of second places. I'm sure he'll be out for revenge this week. Max Ricker, as mentioned, he had a good start. 4th and a 5th, his 2 best results. Got a 13th sandwiched in there as well. Paul Russell, a third and a 4th. Can he go up a couple of steps on the podium tonight in the Porsche? He's going to start from P7. As mentioned, Adrian Rice. I think it's only his second race back as well. Tom McDonald, strong qualifying session from him in P10. Peter Wall in the Aston Martin and the number 17. They kind of got a South African kind of vibe about it. There's Mark Hurley, highest of the AM drivers as well. So he's doing a good job too in 12th. Then you got Paul Huddy. He was sort of joined about halfway through last season, 13th in the Audi. He'll be keeping Hurley company, as will James Mack, 14th in there. Peter Hatfield, didn't really see him in qualifying this evening. Simeon Coco down there as well. Herbertron, Dylan Powell, as I mentioned, and James Bridgens bringing up the rear of the field. But here we go, lining up side by side. Oh, Marsh is in Europe for 6 weeks. Lucky bugger. Good luck to him, I say. Here we go. Here's Curley, Rayton, Lawrenson and Easter. That's your top 4. So they make their way along the start-finish line. They'll wait for the...
Green light.
There it is. See the green flags waving. Curley got a good start. So did Rayton. And Lawrenson sending it up the inside. Goes by side with Rayton there. Russell getting through. Looks like everyone's managed to get through without too much of a drama. Yeah, Adrian Rice didn't have a good start though, so he's dropped quite a few spots down towards the end of the field. But Curley leading from Lawrenson, Rayton, Strelnikov and Michael Easter in P5 right now to get this one started. But everyone else managed to get away relatively cleanly. And so far it's been a drama-free start to the race. We're back to the sprint format tonight, which is great. Only 60 minutes. So I'm sure these guys will be focused on, head down, eyes ahead, and getting the job done. Oh, Rayton! Save there. Out of turn 7 at Sheens. Field still tightly compacted as the leaders coming through to complete the first lap of this one. As I always say, we don't count the laps, we count the minutes. And there's plenty of them still left to go. And so far, it's all been very, very well behaved. So no big sends, no little fights, no little squabbles going on. They've all been very, very orderly to get this one started. Max Ricker, oh no, I spoke too soon. I think that's coming out at turn 3. 23, I think. Let's see what happened here as we go to the replay screen. Oh, he's got the Mercedes up next to him. Made a little bit of contact there. And around he goes. So I think that might have been Hatfield that was involved there as well. So the TDP do look at early race incidents, usually lap 1. They might even give that a bit of a squiz as well, even though it was at the very, very beginning of lap number 2. Back to the live action though. It's Chris Cooley leading the way from Andrew Lawrenson, Terry Rayton, Strelnikov, Easter, Russell, McDonald, Fakney, Wall, and Huddy. Good start, Huddy, up there in P10. And McDonald looking to get a move done on Russell. He loses 2 spots. What happened, Paul Russell? Let's have a look. Oh, he ran wide. Got on the grass. And that was McDonald making a little bit of contact there. And that was Fakney sneaking through. He's been in good form, Neil Fakney. Up in P7. Fingers crossed that internet holds out. And we've had a change at the front of the field while we're watching that. Let's go back and see. This is Rayton going up the inside of Lawrenson. Strelnikov hassling Lawrenson through there as well. Watching on the replay. And Lawrenson down there in 3rd position. Strelnikov hunting him down at the moment. Michael Easter tucked in there as well. So this little group of 5, bit of a gap between Lawrenson and Rayton. Cooley and Rayton don't have any ballast, so hence they've pulled a little bit of a gap on these guys. That doesn't mean that they're going to just walk away with it. There's plenty of work to be done. Retrocoven. Love this track. Yeah, in the dry, it's great. In the wet, it's a bit of a nightmare. But these guys have got dry conditions. Optimum, in fact. How's Neil Fakney going? Down there in P7. It's one of the plastic bollards. Goes flying through turn 9. Coming across the final turn. Lots of the undulations around here as well. So it has a lot of unique characteristics about this circuit. I will give it that for sure. Paul Huddy, I think I've just been a little scarred. To be completely honest, my unconscious bias is showing through. That's a Mercedes. And that's Mack going up the inside of said Mercedes. And that's Hatfield losing a spot to James Mack in 11th position. Back to the front of the field. Terry Rayton continuing to stick to the rear bumper of Chris Cooley, who's our race leader. First race of the season. His last lap was a 1:23.877. Ah, yes. What are the liveries on the on the Porsche and the Ferrari? Are they graffiti? Oh, whoever made these liveries would be perhaps insulted. No, Laundry House is a team, I believe, an esports team. And that is their current. Wow, Tom McDonald just getting a little bit loose out of turn number 8, Sterling's. And Neil Fakney takes another position. Having a great start to the season. And as I mentioned, he's in some great form right now. Watching from the rear. They're scrapping it out in 6th and 7th down there right now. But yeah, Laundry House Racing. So a lot of detail in them. And probably won't necessarily get a chance to go into in-depth with them. But yeah, they're definitely eye-catching. Sort of that, I guess, distressed look, if you like. You know, how they sort of have those liveries where they make them look like they're all rusted and stuff. That's kind of the aesthetic I believe they're going for. As Cooley continues to lead Terry Rayton, 23.8 to Cooley, 23.792 to Rayton on that last lap. The other guys in the 24s right now. Lawrenson did a 24 flat, Stradnikov did a 24.1, Michael Easter did a 24.190, but it was an invalid lap. So Hopefully we don't get any issues with track limits around here, but it is certainly one of the characteristics of this circuit where you can see penalties applied. Saw a lot of that in the F1s yesterday at the Red Bull ring. I was going to call it the A1 ring. It just shows how old I am. Lawrenson continuing to follow Cooley nice and closely. Just trading fastest laps right now, these two. Strelnikov all over the back of the Porsche of Andrew Lawrenson, who hasn't had it all his way this season. So he's only taken the one victory. 45-minute pit window. In terms of the windows, it is no refueling tonight, and there is a mandatory tyre stop. So no refueling. And Porsches are on top of the standings. Retro Coffin of the Manufacturers Championship for Roos. But yeah, no refueling tonight. Mandatory tyre stop. 45-minute pit window. So once again, the race setups continue to change and evolve race to race. Good initiative by the admins running the league. It's proved to provide some really, really good racing so far this season, as Strelnikov just running a little bit wide there through turn 8. Doesn't look like he lost any ground to Lawrenson. They head up the hill one more time along the front straight. Lawrenson just, that car looks like it's got full fuel tanks in it. So their lap times are almost identical right now between those two. Let's have a look at James Mack putting the move on Paul Huddy. No, it doesn't get it done. Alright, we'll get back to Strelnikov and Lawrenson. So as mentioned, Dennis Strelnikov, he did cross the line in P1 last race. But yeah, there was an incident at Elta in the final laps of the 100-minute Enduro of Imola. Very entertaining race, and yeah, it was investigated by the stewards post-race, and Michael Easter was posthumously handed the race victory. He's currently sitting in P5, a couple of seconds adrift of these guys right now. So Cooley and Brayton, you can see just a little bit further up ahead of these two. Not carrying as much ballast as these guys. Here's Wall and Russell. So Russell down in P8. We haven't really sort of seen him running that low for a lot of this season. So he's being hassled by Peter Wall in the Aston Martin. Highest of the silver drivers is Neil Fakeney, but this man on screen, he's sitting in P2 in silver class. P. Huddy is in third right now in the very, very early stages. Oh, that is Huddy and Mack. That's a pretty big send. Let's go have a look at that on the replay screen. Tucks in behind. And yeah, makes some contact there. Hopefully didn't cause too much damage. We're going to be quite light there. Oh, Rayton all over the back of Cooley, and then Strelnikov in a very similar position as well on Lawrenson. So we've got two really good battles, one for P1 and 2 and the other for P3 and 4. Cooley leading the way, Rayton all over the back of him, and then you've got Lawrenson and Strelnikov in third and fourth. So a couple of pairs at the front of the field. Here's Strelnikov. This is a corner that you really take your heart in your mouth every time. Difficult to pinpoint a braking marker through turn 1 as well. Easy to just find yourself four-wheel drifting through that corner too. And getting into the very technical, twisty part of the track. This one's another strange corner with that really late apex. And you think running it wide is a fast line, but it's just not. John Stockton, that's definitely not a fast line. That's at turn 2, I believe, at Druids. Let's see what happened on the replay screen. Going up the inside of Ricker, we saw Huddy and Mac make contact in a very, very similar manner only a lap prior. So they've repeated the dose. And Stockton finds himself in 18th. Looks like Bridgens and Ricker as well have just re-swapped positions. Bridgens was running a new coloured livery tonight. What would you call that colour? It's like it's almost like a laundry house blue. If that was what their cars looked like last season. Let's get back to the front of the field. Denis Strodnikov is chasing down a laundry house car. That's Andrew Lawrenson, the Porsche. Just drifting a bit as well through turn 1. So mandatory tyre stop, full fuel tanks. As we're not far away from approaching the quarter-way mark of what has to be said has been a relatively subdued race. We haven't seen too much action so far. Everyone's been on their best behaviour, perhaps just nice and relaxed and refreshed after taking a week's break. I know who is going to be nice and refreshed and relaxed. James Pierre-Reid. Gallivanting around Europe, just attending world-class motor races, you know, giant sporting events, living the life. Ooh, what's happened, Huddy? Oh no, that's Huddy and Mac making contact again. Let's see what happened here. Here's Huddy. No, that's not going to be good. Oh, okay, yep. So when we got to it, it looked very suspicious, but that was Huddy. Brought himself undone. I think that was through either 6 or 7 through there, and Mac was just a passerby coming through. And where we caught it, it did look like it might have been contact on the rear quarter panel, but it wasn't. It was Huddy just making a mistake, and Mac wrong place, wrong time. It's back to the front. Chris Cooley last lap was 23.877. Terry Rayton did a 23.715. So almost a couple of tenths faster, 1.5 tenths faster at least. And then Lawrence and Strodnikov. Strodnikov was 0.03 of a second slower on that previous lap. So the top 4 very, very evenly matched right now as far as pace goes. Got a couple of drivers in the pits, Max Ricker and Paul Huddy, so they're getting it all done. This is Mark Hurley in 12th position. He's the highest of the AM drivers as we go across the quarter-way mark. He's having a good race there, 12th outright. Neil Fakeney once again leading the way for the silver drivers. Doing a great job, as mentioned. He's in some cracking form right now. Back to the battles at the front. Terry Rayton continuing to stick with Chris Cooley. He's not going anywhere. Will this be the breakthrough for Terry Rayton tonight? Can he take the victory? Can Chris Cooley hold him off? It's still a long way to go. 3/4 of the race left. Other cars close out on circuit. What about John Stockton? Fire and Ice. Ferrari. Oh, Hatfield, what happened? Where are you? Oh, there he is. Oh, and there he goes into the wall. Let's have a look at that on the replay. Oh, I think that might be a disconnect. Yeah, that's never a good sign. And oh no, there he is. I wonder if it was if he was having a connection issue, perhaps. There he goes flying. So, I don't know where he is now. Oh, there he is. Stranded. Alright. Oh, there's that. That is at turn 4. Alright. I think that doesn't look good. Not moving right now, so dare say he could be losing our first one. I think we might have lost another one as well. We're down to 23, possibly 22. Let's get back to this scrap at the front. This is for the race lead. This is what you want to see. 23.857 to a 23.885. That's Chris Cooley slightly advantaged over Terry Rayton on that previous lap. These guys are just gapping the other two behind. Oh, Andrew Lawrenson has dropped back a couple of spots as well. So he was battling it out. Looks like he's got a little bit of damage there on the front end of that Porsche. So as we're watching this stricken Mercedes, something's happened there to Andrew Lawrenson. He's dropped down into P5. And as you can see, there's a little bit of damage there on the front of the Porsche. Yeah, it's starting to flap around a little bit in the breeze. So yeah, he's had contact with something or someone. And he's going to have to wait until his pit stop to get that sorted. As Rayton coming out of turn 1, sorry, down the hill of Druids, of Paddock Hill, sorry, into Druids. Last lap, 23.835. A couple of tenths faster than Cooley. 3 tenths the difference, but you don't need me to tell you that. You can see it for your own 2 eyes, with your own 2 eyes, for yourself on the screen. Oh, what happened, Dylan Powell? Oh, he caught right at the end of it as well. Where is it? Oh. Flick spin. Oh, caught right at the tail end of it there. That was at where was that? I think that was at turn 5. That's Hawthorne. Oh, he was so lucky. And we're going to go back. Oh, I didn't do the replay thing. I think he's still struggling, Dylan. Oh, that car's a bit of a mess. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Oh, Harley Scotland as well. No, Dylan Power. Was it Harley Scotland? Maybe letting someone through. Not sure. Down there in 21st in Retro Racing. Terry Rayton, though. He's all over the back of Chris Cooley. This is for the race lead. As we go on board with the number 85. So Terry Rayton's best finish of the season is 5th. That was at Valencia. He's finished 6th twice. After that, he's currently in P2. He has 1 car between him and the lead. As we've gone a 3rd race distance, and it's Chris Cooley in his return this season. Leading Terry Rayton, Stronnikov, Easter, Lawrenson, and Fakney, McDonald, Russell, Wall, and Mack. Leader of the silver class is Neil Fakney. Leader of the AM class is Hurley. Leader overall is Chris Cooley. That's what we're looking at right now, the battle between Chris Cooley and Terry Rayton. We've got Bridgens coming into the pits. Powell in the pits. Might be in there for a little while, considering the amount of damage that he's got. Just keeping an eye on the times of not Michael Easter, Andrew Lawrenson. I'm sure Donkey in the chat will definitely be keen about the times of Michael Easter, though. Oh, Terry Rayton, as mentioned, mandatory tyre stop, full fuel, no refueling tonight. So there'll be a little bit of fuel saving going on, I'm sure, out there. A little bit of fuel map 2 and 3 happening. And here's Huddy. He has an Aston Martin ahead of him, but that is a lapped car. Richards is out there as well. Don't really want to move too far away from this battle because there's nothing in it between these two. And this is for the race lead. So Strelnikov, a couple of seconds adrift of them. And then Michael Easter, a few more seconds adrift of Strelnikov. And Lawrenson just tucked in there as well. There's a second the gap between him and Easter, the two Porsches in 4th and 5th. There's Andrew Lawrenson just catching that at the last moment. There, Terry Rayton. Ooh, Cooley just dipped a wheel on the outside there. I'm glad that you love Michael Easter as well, Donkeys. That's very nice of you. The world needs a lot of love. (24.790) that last lap around. 24.655 to Terry Rayton. See Strelnikov there, just tucked in the background. There's Lawrenson and Easter as well. Coco, oh, what happened, Harley Scotland? That's at turn 2. Let's just go to the replay. Oh, I've caught it too late. Sorry, everyone. We're just going to watch him for the next 7 seconds, get himself sorted, and then we'll get back to the live action. Hopefully won't miss anything in 3, 2, 1, and we're back. Harley Scotland wasn't much better than once we picked him up. But he's rating. The gap has just extended out marginally, about 3/10 on that previous lap. So I wonder if Rayton had a little mistake through there. Has to have, considering that gap is almost doubled now. 24.352 to Cooley, 4/10 faster on that last lap than Rayton. So Rayton definitely having some sort of moment. I'll have to regather himself. Strelnikov just making up a little bit of ground on that last lap. Only 1.6 seconds adrift. There's Tom McDonald making a pit stop. Very odd colour, that. It's kind of like got a Coca-Cola vibe about it, but like a faded Coca-Cola can. It's been out in the sun for a long time. Nice camera angle watching them come out of turn 4. Super fast part of the circuit through here. Oh, Terry Rayton just sliding through turn 5. A little bit wide there, but you got plenty of grip on the outside of the circuit. And then through turn 7 to Sheens. Said, great fun circuit in the dry, horrible in the wet. 1.3 seconds now is the gap between Terry Rayton and Cooley. So Cooley really putting the foot down at this stage of the race. Still with over 34 minutes left. He has a 24 flat compared to a 24.680 to Rayton. So Cooley really finding his groove right now. He's extending his gap to 1.4 seconds between him and Terry Rayton. Denis Strelnikov is definitely closing up. His last lap was half a second faster than Rayton. So we can see the Ferrari was just struggling with grip. And there he goes to Strelnikov. He's got a cruise past right now. Terry Rayton not enjoying the grip out there, or what little grip he has. And now Terry Rayton is being hunted down by Denis Strelnikov, the 777 Ferrari. It's a Ferrari on Ferrari crime right now. We're all chasing an Aston Martin. We've got 4 Ferraris in the top 10, 3 Porsches, a couple of Aston Martins, and a lone Lamborghini. That's Herbertron just up ahead of these guys, getting out of the way. As Strelnikov runs a little bit wide there through turn 8 of Sterling's. Doesn't look like it's cost him too much. And Rayton comes into the pit, so those tyres did not look like They were providing him much more grip, and he's decided now is the time to pit. No fuel. It's just a tyre stop tonight. 45-minute pit window is open for another 25 and a half minutes of this one. So, got a handful of drivers, more than a handful of drivers. McDonald, Masterson, Coco Huddy, Bridgeland, Scotland, Rika Powell. 10 to 22. Those drivers that I mentioned, they've all pitted. Terry Rayton, get the little green box next to his name once he pits. James Mack in there now as well. So not too far away from hitting the halfway mark, and I have to say it has been all very well behaved tonight. Carlos Dominiak, Mark Hurley battling it out for 8th and 9th. Hurley, the highest of the AM drivers, 8th outright. Masterson and Coco are 2nd and 3rd in class, but they're 15th and 16th. So Mark Hurley has some great pace, has already taken out a class victory this season. He'll be looking to make that class victory number 2. And he's well on his way in the 177 Ferrari. Got a Ferrari fest from 11th to 14th right now. Stockton, Rayton, McDonald and Mack. A couple of BMWs in there as well. But it is an Aston Martin that they're all chasing down. The number 69 Aston Martin belonging to Chris Cooley. His last lap around a 24.452 compared to a 24.375 to Strelnikov. So the 777 Ferrari is going to push Cooley all the way. We know he has genuine pace. He's our championship leader by 6 points. He's had a victory in 2 seconds so far this season, only 3 rounds into it. This is round number 4. Had our little week's break. We've begun the middle third of season number 2 for 2023. Got some pit stops just filtering out, and I'm just trying to pick up some action on the circuit, but pickings are slim right now. Maybe I can just do a quick little update on grid positions. So maybe do we wait until all the pit stops are done? I think we'll wait until the pit stops are all done before we do that. But in the meantime, I'm just struggling to find any really close cars out on circuits. They've all managed to really separate themselves. And, oh, here we go. So we've got a bit of action here. So Strelnikov and Cooley have both pitted. This is our race leaders. Michael Easter has pitted as well. So Neil Fakeney will have a little bit of screen time here, if you like. He's going to take... No, he's not. He's coming into the pits. Peter Wall. I'm really looking for Terry Rayton here. So the pit stop time... Total time, what was Rayton? 54 seconds. So Easter's at 33. Cooley's about 10 seconds ahead of him. Strelnikov and Cooley are separated by about 3 seconds. And here's Cooley coming out of the pits. Here's Rayton. We'll see him in the background there. You can see the laundry house car. That's Max Rika in the immediate picture. And Terry Rayton just coming through now, and then Dennis Strelnikov coming out, and Michael Easter coming out of the pits as well. So Chris Cooley is our de facto race leader right now, followed by Rayton, Strelnikov, Lawrenson and Easter. That's essentially your top 5 after Paul Russell, Peter Wall and Adrian Rice pit. They'll be the final 3 to do so, as Carlos Dominiak and John Stockton have both completed their stops right there, as you can see on the screen. And now Chris Cooley leading the race. That was Max Rika in the background. And this man here giving chase. So having a look at the stop times. Cooley stopped for 54 seconds. Rayton stopped for 54. Strelnikov for 56. 54 to Lawrenson. So I don't think he's repaired that damage, Lawrenson. He's going to have to go till the end. Easter with 56 seconds. Fakeney 54. McDonald 57, Mack a minute, Hurley 55. So pretty much par scores in terms of pit times from all of the guys at the front, as Russell and Rice will be two of the final 3 cars to pit. This is some serious pep business from Kekker's Gorilla Snapper. I assume he's talking about Chris Cooley, this man here. I assume so. So he's going to be a race leader once Peter Wall decides to pit. Chris Cooley, he's got a 1.1 second gap over Terry Rayton. Dennis Strelnikov hunting him down 3.9 seconds behind. Andrew Lawrenson 4.6. And then Michael Easter 1.3. So just a reminder of ballast. Strelnikov has 11 kilos of ballast. Lawrenson has 10. Easter has 5. And that's really of the front guys. Cooley doesn't have any. And neither does Rayton. So that is a new part of the season that drivers do accumulate ballast. The more successful they are, up until a total of 30 kilos. As Peter Wall, his time in the race lead is done. That is a Ferrari. I think that's Bridgens being lapped by Chris Cooley, who is now officially our race leader. On the timing screen, it does indicate that. 26.5 minutes left. Terry Rayton just sneaking through as well. So last lap around, he was 9:10. No, he was a little bit slower, about 1.5 tenths slower than Chris Cooley. He's going to have a lot to do to try and get past the Aston Martin driver, the number 69. Stop go cleared for 1:21. That was John Stockton, the Fire and Ice Ferrari. Coming through Westfield, turn 6. And turn 7, big one, Sheens. You just want a ripple strip to be out there. It's not. Had a little bit of oversteer in the Ferrari, Terry Rayton. Track's still at optimum, 23 degrees track temperature, 18 degrees air temperature. It's kind of like just a mild spring day, but that's peak summer in the UK, in England. Suck it to all the English cricket fans out there as well. It was all within the laws of the game. It was out. Always good to see him get there just desserts. So Rayton giving chase to Cooley. Strelnikov 5 seconds adrift. Lawrenson in 4th. Then Easter in 5th. Let's do a little recap of the race. So Cooley started in 1st. Rayton in 2nd. That's where they both find themselves. Strelnikov started 5th, so he's moved up 2 spots. He's in 3rd. Lawrenson, he started in 3rd, finds himself in 4th, so he's dropped a spot. And Michael Easter was in 4th as well, so he's dropped down to 5th. Fakeney's moved up a couple of spots, so he started in 8th, currently sitting 6th. Tom McDonald, good to see this guy having a good run. Started 10th, finds himself in 7th position. Paul Russell, he's dropped 1 from 7th to 8th. Who else has had any big movers? Bridgens started 23rd, he's in 17th. Max Ricker dropped 14 spots, had a great top 6 start. Finds himself in 20th right now. But yeah, no massive movers and shakers. This stage of the race, we're almost up the final 3rd. So we're having a look at Wally Masterson in the BMW. He's got Adrian Rice just up ahead of him. Class leader for Silver right now is Neil Fakeney. What was the pole time? That is a good question, Gorilla Snapper. Might have to just rewind the stream a little bit there, buddy, and find out, because I didn't write down the time. But Fakeney is the silver class leader. Mark Hurley is the AM class leader. He's got James Mack tucked in behind him. These are two of the closest cars on the circuit, because Chris Cooley is leading Terry Rayton by 1.6 seconds right now. Strelnikov, Lawrence and Easter, and then Fakeney, McDonald, Russell, Wall and Hurley. That's your top 10 right now. James Mack's knocking on the door of the top 10. Silver class driver. He's in P3 in class. He's got Peter Wall a couple of spots ahead of him in 9th. So first you'll need to get past the AM leader of Mark Hurley. Looking to make it 2 class victories for the season. It would be a 50% strike rate. So this is going at a pretty good clip. Paul Russell is a second behind Tom McDonald as well in 7th position. Last lap time, McDonald did a 24.845. Russell was about 0.3 faster, so we'll monitor that as we go. But Mack and Hurley, let's see what their lap times are. Hurley a 24.457, a 24.347 to Mack. Just chipping away ever so slightly. Gap out in front. Oi, that is the Lexus, I think. Yep, it is. That's the Lexus belonging to Dylan Powell. So 1.3 seconds is why I cut across to them. So have a quick gander. So that's what the gap looks like. Between first and second is we're 21 minutes out from the conclusion of this one. Great to get back into the sprint format after the 100-minute race of Imola a couple of weeks ago and get back into the swing of things for the season as we're round number 4 here. And Chris Cooley hasn't raced all season and he's making a nice little return. He's at the top of the times. Leading from Dennis Strelnikov. Here's Paul Russell, as I mentioned, just making up a little bit of ground bit by bit on Tom McDonald. This would be good for Tom McDonald, just get a little bit of practice under duress from Russell. This is 4th position, so no blue flags are being waved here. Russell was almost half a second faster again on that last lap, so McDonald certainly has his work cut out for him. Keep the Jack Daniels number 6 Porsche. Yeah, is there a point system for the championship? Yes, there is, Tucker Gaming. It is the point system. So, there goes Paul Russell. He's going around the outside. Makes a little bit of contact there with McDonald. Getting quite agricultural. Let's have a look at that from a different angle. So we'll go from the helicopter view. I think McDonald just got held up on the run there as well. And then just a little bit of minor contact between the two. I forgot to do the replay screen. There we go. It's back. Alright. Yeah, champion. Yeah, so there is a championship. So the setup is I believe it's the top 3. Where are my notes? Yes, it is. Give me a second. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything here. James Mack and Mark Hurley going at it. Yeah, here we go. Drivers, top 3 drivers for any manufacturers. So right now, for example, who would get points for Aston Martin? There's only 2 of them. So Chris Cooley and Peter Wall would get points for Aston. That would go towards their championship tally. And then for Ferrari, it'd be Rayton, Strelnikov, and Tom McDonald. They would get the points for Ferrari. And then for Porsche, it would be Lawrence and Easter and Russell we get the points for Porsche, which is sit atop of the times. We go to Michael Easter and Andrew Lawrenson. This will be a cracking battle between these two. One ex-champion versus the reigning champion. Going through turn 1. Easter, last round's race winner. Good stuff between these two. So, pet business from the consummate businessman. Really snappy, very articulate in there. Yeah, so that's how it works for the teams championship, and then you obviously have the drivers championship as well, which Denis Strodnikov is leading right now, but he's in P3. And the two drivers ahead of him. Oh, Lawrenson just running a little bit wide. So perhaps that damage from the beginning of the race, or from sort of, I don't know, about quarter way mark, didn't quite catch what happened. But Easter all over the back of Lawrenson now. I feel like it may only just be a matter of time before these two Porsches swap positions. Go on the start-finish line. They're going to go side by side, and this is great stuff between two very skilled competitors. Lawrenson sending it, Easter sending it up the inside, and he gets the job done. Nice move from Michael Easter on Andrew Lawrenson. Lawrenson trying to fight back straight away. And Easter gets the move done. Almost ran a little bit deep there. That back end just stepping out. The same with Lawrenson. So both these drivers having the same difficulties. But they've swapped positions. So Michael Easter now in P4. He's still 10 seconds adrift though of Denis Strodnikov. He's 4.2 seconds adrift of Terry Rayton, who is now sitting 2.5 seconds behind Chris Cooley. So, with almost the final quarter of this race to go, Chris Cooley in a very, very commanding position. Paul Russell still tucked in behind Tom McDonald here. So McDonald in 7th, 8th is Russell. Oh, McDonald almost upsetting that Ferrari to the point of it turning it around in itself, but manages to hold on. No dramas there. Pit window will be closing very, very shortly, but it doesn't matter because there's no cars that need to pit. So no refueling tonight. McDonald flashing the lights furiously at the Lexus to get out of the way, which it does. Russell able to sneak through there as well without losing any time. And just keeping an eye on these two, Michael Easter and Andrew Lawrenson. Last lap around, Easter did a 1:24.490. Lawrenson did a 25.125. So Easter just able to take advantage of that clear air and pull a faster lap on that last one around than Lawrenson. Back to Russell. Hurley and Mark going side by side here. That's at turn 3 by the looks of things. So those two are fighting it out right now in 10th and 11th. So Mac just manages to sneak past. Here we go, take 2 between McDonald and Russell. 14 minutes remaining, so we've ticked over to the final quarter of this race. Chris Cooley in a commanding lead, 3.4 seconds up the road from Terry Rayton. Denis Strodnikov almost 4 seconds down the road from Rayton in 3rd. That's your podium. Then Easter, Lawrenson, Fakeney, McDonald, Russell, Wall and Mack. We're watching Russell and McDonald go at it here. On the front straight. Both cars with the lights ablaze. Track at optimum. Full sunshine. Russell! Little ray of sunshine there going up the inside. They make a little bit of contact. They're still side by side as they go down the hill. McDonald will have the inside line here for the next 2 corners. Able to take advantage. Russell just needs to recompose himself. Runs a little bit wide even with a late apex turn. A little bit of oversteer through there. This is definitely not over between these two. Just monitoring the battle between Lawrenson and Easter. That's 7/10 of a second. As we continue to watch these two, this is where Russell looked to put a move on before. Almost made contact again through there. Just avoiding it. Starting to come towards the pointy end of this race. 12.5 minutes left on the clock. These drivers will be more than well aware of that. I do like that camera angle actually. It's a good one. Through the trees. This is what I was talking about before. So Lawrenson and Easter in 4th, trying to hold off our reigning defending champion Andrew Lawrenson, who, fair to say, by his own lofty standards, only one win from the first 3 races, is very, very different to what we saw last season. Almost unbeatable. Walked away with the championship in the end. But yeah, certainly hasn't had it all his own way. We've had 3 different race winners. Strelnikov was the first one, Lawrenson the second, and then Michael Easter. Are we going to see a 4th race winner from the first 4 races of the season? If Chris Cooley maintains a 3.6 second gap on Terry Rayton, we will do exactly that. Just need to do it for the next 11.5 minutes as we're watching Russell and McDonald. Russell continues to probe away at the rear of the Ferrari, the number 11. McDonald doing a great job to hold on here. Currently sitting in 7th position. McDonald started in 10th, so he's moved up 3 spots from where he started. If you couldn't tell, if you've got absolutely no idea how to do basic maths. If not, I just sounded really condescending. There's Heather Russell. What's going on, Heather? A bit late to the chat. As Russell gets past, just as I mentioned, her brother, and nice work from Paul Russell. He finally gets the move done on Tom McDonald, and let's have a look at it. So he ran wide there at turn 8, which opened up the opportunity for Russell, and he stepped right through. Great stuff. And just a little mistake there forced from Tom McDonald. As we go back to live pictures. And then the gap here between Lawrenson and Easter. Still monitoring it. 0.6 of a second. 3.7 seconds now, the gap between Cooley and Rayton, as we're about to breach the final 10-minute mark. Easter at back end, just getting a little bit loose there. He's pushing the absolute limits. A 24.177 that last lap, a 24 flat to Andrew Lawrenson. So this is going to be a great battle to watch until the end of this one. Cooley lapping at 23.945. Strelnikov did a 23.640. He's still 2.5 seconds adrift to Terry Rayton, so he's going to have to turn in some pretty rapid laps to try and close that gap. In the meantime, Easter and Lawrenson will continue to duke it out for 4th and 5th. Some other close battles between Russell and McDonald. And then a little bit further down from them, Carlos Dominiak and Adrian Rice in 12th and 13th. Mark Hurley continues to lead the AM class. He's in 11th outright. Neil Fakeney having another cracking race. He is currently P6 outright and leader of the silver class. Looking to make it back-to-back class wins for Neil Fakeney in the number 9 Lamborghini, the highest placed Lamborghini. Easter. Or does that open it up for Lawrenson here? I think it might. Easter defends. Oh, he runs wide again. I don't think that would lose any time through there. You got that little bit of AstroTurf on the outside. You don't have that at turn 7. They stay within the track limits though to avoid retarding the car too much. And this is a great battle between 2 very high caliber drivers in similar machinery. The 2 Porsches. Cooley! What's happened, Chris Cooley? Oh no! Where is he? Chris Cooley! Oh, no! What happened? Let's see if I can catch it on the replay. Where are we? Oh, that's Max Ricker. Is it a connection? I don't know. He was cruising. He was 3.5 seconds up the road. He's gotten going again as we go back to live pictures. I have no idea what happened. Maybe some sort of equipment issue. Something happened, and he was 3.5 seconds up the road from Terry Rayton. He was cruising to victory in the number 69 Aston Martin, looking to make it a race win on debut this season. But right now he finds himself in P3. He's 3.3 seconds away from Denis Strelnikov, who's about the same from Terry Rayton. Pit window is closing, so Terry Rayton is now our race leader. We're still on track to go 4 from 4 different race winners from the first 4 races of the season as we get back to this battle here between Michael Easter and Andrew Lawrence. They've been going at it hammer and tong, 4th and 5th right now. But Chris Cooley, that is the big story. He looks so comfortable all race. And he was about 8.5 minutes away from taking victory, and right now finds himself in P3. As we still keep our eyes on this battle between Lawrence and Easter, Russell and McDonald. They're still going at it in 7th and 8th, but have no idea what happened to Chris Cooley. And 1NE he blew his engine, and by blew I mean he switched it off. Oh, he wanted to use his hazards to say thanks to the blue flag. That is brutal. Thank you, 1NE in the chat. Lawrence and Easter now going at it. So this race is starting to really kick off right in the dying stages. 6 minutes and 15 odd seconds still left, and Lawrence all over the back of Easter, our last round's race winner. He's looking to secure himself a top 4 position. Andrew Lawrenson looking to change those plans. These two cars do have ballast themselves. Easter has 3. Who cares how much ballast there is? We're just watching these guys on track right now. Who is that? That's a Ferrari. Not too sure who that was. Yeah, action all of a sudden. It's been quite subdued for a long time, and Lawrence is pitting. So perhaps maybe that damage has caused issues with the tyres. I'm not too sure, but Andrew Lawrenson with 5.5 minutes left. That means Neil Fakeney is going to come through to a top 5 position. So he's got a drive-through penalty. Sorry, didn't even see that. Drive-through penalty for Andrew Lawrenson. Neil Fakeney coming through there, and have a look how close that is into turn 1. Neil Fakeney has to defend for his life for the next 5 minutes and a few seconds from Andrew Lawrenson. That's going to be no easy feat. Yeah, I do apologise. I didn't see the drive-through penalty there for Andrew Lawrenson late race. So that lets Michael Easter off the hook because Lawrenson was pushing him extremely hard. He was going to have to fight all the way to the very end there. So Michael Easter gets a bit of a reprieve. He should be able to cruise along in 4th position now. Chris Cooley, so he tried to flash his hazard lights, but turned off the car instead. No good deed goes unpunished, and he now finds himself in P3, 3.5 seconds adrift of Denis Strelnikov. He's about the same distance behind Terry Rayton. 4 minutes and 15 seconds left, and Terry Rayton right now is in the box seat. Strelnikov and Cooley round out the podium. Neil Fakeney, leader of the silver class. He's in P5 right now. The last time we saw him in P5 this late in the race, his internet connection died. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. He's got something even worse than that. He's got Andrew Lawrenson tucked in behind him, fighting for that 5th position. Fakeney's going to have to defend with everything that he's got for the next 3 minutes and 45 seconds at least. As Lawrenson following him through turn 1. The Porsches have looked a little bit slippery, so well the Ferraris did as well earlier on too. McDonald still chasing down Russell in 7th and 8th, and then our class leader for AM, Mark Hurley, in 11th. right now he's looking to make some ground on James Mack in the dying stages of this one. Just having a look at where Terry Rayton is on the track map, trying to pick him up now as Andrew Lawrenson continues to look at the rear of that Lamborghini, looking for a way past as they approach the fast right-hander at turn 5, Hawthorn. This is the dying stages of round number 4. Lawrenson going up the inside. No. Pulls out of it at the last moment. Goes back into single file. Neil Fakeney doing his absolute best to keep our reigning defending champion Andrew Lawrenson at bay right now. Neil Fakeney holding on to a top 5 position. Won't be too much longer left in this one. Terry Rayton coming across the line right about now, so probably a couple of more laps. Can Fakeney do it? Oh, McDonald and Russell have swapped positions as well. So Tom McDonald manages to get past Paul Russell. What happened there? Oh, Russell ran wide out of turn 7 into the left-hander of 8. And McDonald, who lost the position to Russell because he made a mistake, gets a little bit of payback there. This time Russell makes the mistake and McDonald can capitalise. Back to this scrap here between Fakeney and Lawrenson. Fakeney's got about a lap and a half left to fend off the 992 rating defending champion Andrew Lawrenson in the Laundry House Porsche. Terry Rayton, 2.2 seconds is the difference between him and Dennis Strelnikov. Lawrenson, all 4 wheels on the grass there. He is pushing as absolutely as hard as he possibly can. Terry Rayton 2.1 seconds ahead of Dennis Strelnikov. Cooley 5 seconds adrift. Race victory has gone out the window for him. Trying to give the signal of thanks to a back marker. Accidentally turned off his car while he was 3.5 seconds in the lead with about 8.5 minutes left in this one. Led for the majority of the race. And then Andrew Lawrenson, suffering that drive-through penalty only a couple of laps ago, finds himself in P6 with the number 9 Silver Class leader Neil Fakeney. I didn't hear the signal last time around. Where is Terry Rayton? I don't want to dip away from this action. We'll just have a quick look. Where is he? Oh yeah, so he's coming through turn 5. This could possibly be the last lap. Keep an eye on him, but right now the gap between Rayton and Strelnikov in second is 2 seconds. It's coming through turn 7 now. Rayton with 33 seconds left. Might go one more. I don't think he really has the luxury of slowing down. He's got Dennis Strelnikov breathing down his neck. He was 1.1 seconds faster on the last lap as Lawrenson almost loses it. Here's Rayton. He's going to have to go one more lap. Oh, how close is he going to be? What, about 9 seconds or so? Yeah, 10 seconds. Leader on the final lap, Paul Russell. This is through turn 5. This is him and Tom McDonald. Oh, they make contact again. Russell goes around. McDonald manages to keep it moving in the right direction. Let's have a quick look at that again. So Russell had a good run, a little bit of Morse code tap, goes up the inside quarter panel, and round she goes. They might want to have a chat about that one post race, and that's Tom McDonald on his way. Andrew Lawrenson is a second adrift now of Neil Fakeney, on track to finally take that top 5 finish that he was robbed of earlier in the season due to a dodgy internet connection. As we pick up the race leader coming through turn 7 now for the final time tonight. 60-minute sprint race, absolutely flown by. Here's Lawrenson and Fakeney. But Terry Rayton only 1 turn away from being the 4th race winner from the first 4 rounds. Congratulations, Terry Rayton. Great drive. He was there when it needed to be, and he takes out victory. Congratulations, Terry Rayton. Dennis Strelnikov comes home in P2, solidifying his championship lead. Chris Cooley cruelly lost a race victory there. Michael Easter comes home to take a very well-earned P4. Well done to Michael Easter. And then the battle that we want to see right now is Neil Fakeney and Andrew Lawrenson Can Neil Fakeney one more turn to get there to hold on to take P5 ahead of Andrew Lawrenson here. Suffered that drive-through penalty at the end. Was all over the back of Michael Leicester. And Neil Fakeney's going to do it. He's going to take home P5. Congratulations to him. Andrew Lawrenson finishes in 6th. Tom McDonald a little bit further adrift from these guys. He will come home in P7. Congratulations, Tom McDonald. And we've got Paul Russell, who will finish in 8th position. Well done to him. A little bit of contact there at the end. Peter Wall coming home in 9th. So Neil Fakeney takes silver class victory. Wall does P2. And then for P3 will be James Mack. And then the AM class victor is Michael Hurley. He's 2nd for the season. And Carlos Dominiak will be the last car on the leading lap to finish. Well done to him. But congratulations, Terry Rayton. He is our race winner. That was a really, really good race right until the end there. It was a little bit slow for a lot of it. Chris Cooley, unfortunately for him, tried to turn on the hazards, turn the car off. He finished 3rd, and Denis Strelnikov finishing 2nd. That is his 3rd second position in a row for him after winning the first race. And it is our 4th race winner from the first 4 rounds. Terry Rayton, and then Chris Cooley, his debut race for the season. He's obviously not a newcomer. He was here last season as well, but his first race for this season. In P3, could have been a race win. Easter, Fakeney, Russell, Wall, Mack, Hurley, Rice. Good stuff. That race kicked off at the end after what was a relatively subdued race for the majority of it. So that is round 4 in the books, everyone. Cracker of a race at the end. Next week we are going to be going to France, so we'll keep it in Europe. We're going to be going around Paul Ricard, so please do join us for that one next week. I'll try and have the stream up and running at the right time. But until then, everyone, enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you all had a good Monday. Have a good rest of the week. My name's Nick. I'll see you next time.